Hey, this is Dale Tinsley. You're listening to the Connect Podcast. Our purpose is to guide you to connect with yourself so that you can connect with others and live a life of meaning and value. Continuing the series, Limitless Potential, Endless Refinement. Peace be with you. Welcome back, and thank you for joining. I'd like to thank the audience for being here, spending some time together. We are here live at today's event, Relationships. Hope today's message finds you all in great spirits, high vibrations, and you're ready for an expansion of mind as we do a deep dive. So relationships, what are relationships? We think about communicating, we think about understanding, we think about our parents, we think about society, we think about our friends, we think about ourselves, we think about food, we think about relationships with everything that we have, right? And all of those things have meaning, and all of those things are important. But ultimately, the most important relationship that we're going to have on this journey, this experience that we all call life, is the relationship with ourselves. So today is going to be focused on just that, the relationship that we have with ourselves, and we're going to dive into it. So to do it properly, we're going to start off with us, the you, for the audience at home, for everybody here. I want you to see everything that you see up here and insert yourself. But we're going to start as a child. Okay? So just try and go back into that mindset when you were 7 years old, 8 years old, your experience, what was going on. For some people, it was chaotic. For me, it was pretty chaotic with the stepmom. But it was what it was. And everybody's going to be able to lay out some different experiences here. So you see programming, you see connect, mind, body, spirit. So this is just an overview. So under spirit, I've got church, no church. Under mind, we have you, that's us right here. We've got dad, we've got mom. Under body, I threw up illness. Maybe someone had a broken arm, and play. So what comes to mind from your childhood? Like, what's the first thing you think of? I had fun, I was loved. And we're going to start the conversation, and it'll morph itself. And as you guys interject and as we start writing, we're going to fill up this whole board, because there's so many details when you really put yourself back there, just like today. Like today, when we get to that point, it's all the details, and we're basically going to map out the relationship that we have with ourselves from our own perspective of what we see out in the world and how we react, how we don't react, what our mindset is, and all of that's connected, and it all plays its part in the perception that we have through each of our eyeballs, right? So take this in as you, right? And what we're going to do is, as we start writing down, we're sharing. I'll share some things here. Fred will share some things over here. And then, it'll give everybody just kind of an overview on people's realities. And some you didn't experience that somebody mentioned, some you did. So I'll start. I'll say under my dad, and these are things like my dad was loving. Okay? So my dad was loving. Over here, under body and play, I'm going to put sunlight. Okay? Under illness, I'll put, I didn't break my leg, but a bad sprain. Okay, so I'm laying these things out so you guys can start opening your minds and start to interject. So for myself, there was church. Sometimes it was a 3-mile walk to get to church. And it was in Spanish, which was interesting.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, thank you. I'm already on to the next thought. This is where y'all start giving me some feedback. Logan, what sticks out to you right now in your life? School?
Probably school.
Yeah? Okay. So, let's see where we put that. Yeah. So school, that's also would be tied into the programming. What else did we get from our dads?
Worked a lot.
Hard work.
Hard work, work ethic.
Can we say negative stuff too?
Yes, of
Stubborn!
ETH, ethic.
His cursing.
Oh, I didn't say that. Heather did.
Your mom
Well,
It's everything. This isn't just. I mean, is life just nothing but positives?
No.
This is about reality. Every episode of Connect, for it to hit, we have to be rigorously honest with ourselves. And like I said from the beginning, this is a safe place. Judy's not going to get upset if Fred's not going to get upset if Logan says, my dad's hard on me sometimes. It opens up the floor for a deeper discussion that will give Logan more perspective and Fred more perspective. Well, why is he hard on you? Maybe nobody was hard on him. Maybe somebody was hard on him and it taught him to stay focused, to stay grounded. So all of these things are connected, and this whole thing is designed to stimulate you guys to think and just be open and honest. So he's stubborn. What about mom? Mom was caring,
Yes.
right? Most mothers are.
I would say my mom was nurturing, but she was neurotic, so I got some of my OCD stuff in her. And it's hard to break those patterns.
Critical.
Yeah, critical.
Mom was shut down.
I mean, yeah. Disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected.
So we're going to get to all that. This is going to go way deeper, but we have to start to do it right. We have to start here. We have to start here to do it right, because when we're done with this presentation today, it'll make sense. She was disconnected.
Very loving and caring, nurturing at the same time.
She was caring, she was nurturing, she was OCD, she was disconnected. I can relate.
Supportive,
Yeah, there you go. It's a good one.
always.
My father was strict. Hard worker.
My dad was a hard worker, but he was passive. Can you put passive on there?
Of course. There are no wrong answers. Every answer.
Put this, but I know I have high expectations
Okay.
for my kids, and that could be a fault. It's a good,
Well,
Pressure.
I'll share something that I learned a couple years back. Someone said, "Not everybody's you, Dale." And that gave me perspective on acceptance and really understanding that communication is the key. So so you have a high expectation, right? Okay, that's fine. But does the person know what you expect them to complete? And have you communicated that out clearly and set the standard, walk through it, set them up for success, help them understand why? Because I'm all about the why. The why, the why, the why, the why, the why. You hit the understanding. Oh, now it makes sense. Once it makes sense and that other shoe drops, or you have that aha moment, we, people, the resistance that we have internally from our egos slides out the way, common sense, and then our natural want to help people kicks in. Oh, okay. Right, so high expectations is fine. At work it happens all the time, depending what you do. You know, people expect you to do a good job, they expect you to deliver. And it's hard to do that when there's a lack in communication, or the communication wasn't to the level that that person was totally aware of everything that needed to be done to deliver to meet your high expectation. So that's off of the not everybody's you. But that's me doing the internal work within myself. Okay. And that's where that's just a little breakdown of it. We could probably do a longer talk and, but yeah, high expectations. But I would imagine the high expectations are because you have high expectations for yourself. So it's not like you out there doing nothing and you want everybody else to do everything, right? You have high standards, a high level of awareness and how you operate, but not everybody's you, Judy. Yeah. I can appreciate you. I love you. I think you're awesome because I'm very similar in that regard, right? So we share that. But
and, having the understanding, like you say, not everybody's you, and having the understanding to know that the people that you put those high expectations on, they need to come to an awareness with themselves. I may want Heather to lose weight, but until Heather realizes she needs to lose weight, and wants to lose weight, I've got to kind of back off. You plant the seed,
mm-hmm.
and then you got to kind of back off. And I have a problem because I am a control freak. I will admit that.
I'm gonna get you
They
on.
will admit that.
We'll do an
Control freak. Controlling a mom.
What's that? Okay, I'll put it out there.
Just control, nothing.
So
My expectations, because my mom is not high.
she came from the hippie era.
I was on the edge of that.
Yeah, I mean, we could take each one of these and dig into them, but we have a lot to cover, and we're just gonna keep it rolling. And so, just to dive in real quick, high expectations, supportive, strict, caring, nurturing. What's the driver behind these?
Mom is stronger than Daddy.
Love.
Come on,
Love. All of those things, people may not communicate it out, and that digs into the understanding and the communication being so important. But at the level where these things are coming in, it's driven by love.
So in my experience,
At the core.
In my experience, I grew up partially for years with my grandmother away from my parents in Guatemala. So as a child, mom and dad wasn't in the picture
Mm.
during 7 through 9, 7
Yeah.
to 11, kind of, for a couple of years.
Yeah, so grandma took the
Grandma
role
took the
of the
role.
mother.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, that's okay, but you were still nurtured. She was supportive, I would imagine. A lot of Hispanic women typically are strict, depending their
She didn't have to be.
expectations.
She demanded,
Oh, well,
just
she
by
was-
her presence.
her energy and-
demanded- yeah, her energy just demanded.
Okay, let's dig into this side a little bit over here. So play, sunlight. So there was, let's go organized sports.
Just playing outside with your friends.
Yeah, neighborhood friends.
Cheerleading. Well, that's organized sports.
Fight.
Yeah.
Does that go on the illness side?
You get hurt. If you get beat up.
If you're the one that got beat up.
Family time under play.
Yeah.
Doing things as a family,
Mm.
going to the French Quarter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
Things
really
that
good.
we would do.
Family adventures. Did anybody get really, really sick when they were a kid?
Heather. I was
Yeah.
always sick. And then I had a stroke. So.
Yeah, we working on all that.
working on that.
You had a stroke?
Yeah. Yes, I had a stroke.
Yeah, I get sick in Guatemala once.
She was
Like
29.
a month-long stomach bug that kept me. Without my mom and dad around.
You probably also put on there like kids who suffer with like depression and stuff too, like
Yeah.
bullying.
Yeah.
But I would say depression is new.
Yeah, like now, but I mean bullying's been a long
Oh, yeah, bullies. Oh, yeah, bullies have been around. I grew up with one. He's still around. Sad when it's your own family, but I've made peace with it. That was some rough work.
Losing a loved one to cancer. My mom died of cancer.
Because that affects our mind, our emotions, right? And it also, we hold on to it emotionally. When you hold on to things, they're unhealed. Someone passing, that can be traumatic depending on the situation. And then
Even like friends passing, like I had a few friends passed in middle school.
what about on the spiritual side? Was there church? Was there no church?
Church.
Was there prayer?
Yes.
Prayer.
No church. More spiritual for me.
I'll tell you something interesting about church. I begged my parents to bring me. One was Catholic, one was Baptist, so they didn't go to the same church. So I remember one day distinctly, I was coming out of OLPH and Father Butler, the one with the Irish accent, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar. He said, always late and always early to leave. That's what he said to me. Now I was killing myself to get my parents to bring me to church by myself. I had no support, I had no siblings. And that made an impression on me.
Always late and always early to
So I
leave?
was always late arriving and always early to leave, but I had to go when my parents could take me.
Yeah, well, he lacked
I was just happy that I was getting to church.
Right?
he lacked
So
perspective.
then I missed a couple times after that because it was like, I don't want to be late,
Yeah.
That's a shame.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah, well, his limited perspective was and then he was judging, so
You're supposed to love.
that's a whole rabbit hole in and of itself. So what else? What about Dad?
I feel like my dad was
A
not
teacher?
unempathetic, but wasn't like emotionally supportive.
Didn't show emotion?
Yeah.
But a teacher.
Yeah. Teachers, I had some impactful teachers. I'm sure you guys have as well.
Super strict.
Obviously not as present as like mom.
My dad was
My mom did a lot of things with us when my dad wasn't there. Out of choice.
Not present.
Absent.
Yeah.
Was that by his choice?
Yes.
What did he do instead of being with y'all? Hunt, fish.
Sometimes fish, sometimes just drink and stay home watching movies.
So it wasn't like he was off at work and he had to be gone.
No.
Okay, it was a choice.
Okay. No, so he was in his alone time. Right? You know, and it's funny, so we bring all these things up because that's what hit me, right? So my dad, he did certain things, but he worked hard offshore, and when he'd come home, like he was just spent. You know what I mean? And so we did the little vacations every once in a while, but he wouldn't engage. He wouldn't engage. And it's not, you know, and he was sober, right? So I mean, he'd have a couple beers, but now looking back, right? And we'll add some more things, but looking back at this, it'll give us some perspective on ourselves of where we are now. Where we are now. On that right there, the why. So, I mean, y'all can share some deeper things, some heavier things.
So the spiritual side, I didn't grow up in any church. My grandmother was the church pretty much. She was the spiritual leader of both sides of my family. And so as a kid, that influenced me major.
So she's asking her parents, "Hey, please bring me. Hey, please bring me." And you lived with a spiritual leader,
Yeah.
right? So you see, I mean, we pop out, we're in these bodies, and we have no choice. We have no choice. The cards were dealt. So Logan, being young, right? Here you are, growing. You've got great family. They want the best for you. They love you. I mean, some people don't have that. I mean, you know, it's a lot of perspective. All of this, when we look to as individuals, why? Why am I this way? Why do I react like that? Why do these things bother me? Why do I worry? Why do I have high expectations? Why am I so passive? Why do I feel mostly disconnected? Why am I overly supportive? Why am I such a control freak?
Why did I marry somebody more passive? Probably because of my father's passive.
Well, I mean, it lays out.
If I on a whiteboard, you could see it.
That's the whole, yes, beautiful. That's why this holds weight. Because, so this is us as kids. Wait till this gets erased and we start going for the adults. But you guys are adults. And so looking back, and we can dig in a little bit more, we start there. And then we shift over to the adult side and we start laying out as adults. Okay? But this is all the beginning. This is the beginning of what? This word right here, the programming. The programming. The school that you're going to, Logan, they're going to program you to have high expectations from yourself, my friend. Because it's all inside of you, brother. You understand? You set those goals for the right reasons because you want to be the best version of yourself. And it's going to make me proud. It's going to make your dad proud. It's going to make your mom proud. It's going to make your family proud. But at the end of the day, it's your life. And you have to have value and meaning in your life and be proud of yourself because you pushed yourself, because you set goals, because you worked hard, because you were focused, you were dedicated, you were relentless, and you had fun along the way, right? And you have your alone time for you, right? Where you're outside, you're playing, you're in the sunlight, you're in organized sports, you have neighborhood friends. You got Jordan, great guy.
You didn't say his name right.
I didn't say Jordan's name. Jordan. So hopefully there's not a lot of fights. Hopefully you don't have to show dominance because that's what fighting is. But when you're young and in my eyes, if we did exercises like this with the kids, it would change our society.
Yeah, really.
And Connect Kids is coming. It is. We gotta break through to the adults first. And us as adults have to continue to refine and continue to do the work and see the value in it. And own who we are. And then hit that point of being sick and tired, And then you're in the gym 5 weeks in, you're down 6.5 inches overall. You're down 20 pounds. You're connected to beast mode. They got that growl on their face and that look in their eye. And they're determined to make a change.
Now she knows what it feels like.
So all good stuff. In the mind, what was in, I want you to take yourself back to when you were a kid. What was in the front of your mind? What was in the front of your mind? Can't wait to wake up and go play. I hate my school. God, my brothers and sisters aggravate me. Take yourself back there and give me some feedback, because that's all in the mind. And what we focus on is our reality. What we focus on manifests. Someone could be talking about Jacob Lawson 2 days ago, and then suddenly he appears in her life. Magical synchronicities.
Mine was an emotional roller coaster. Not knowing. So every day was a new adventure.
shaky ground comes to mind, but what's a better way to say that? Instability. What there's
Dysfunction. So it was you were anxious, Edgar?
No, it wasn't dysfunction. It was just like I had no control, but my true inner spirit as a child was like, can't wait for tomorrow. So every day was just a new anticipation, like a new adventure.
so it was a good thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well I'll put unstable anyway because that's the other side of the coin. So what I
The
get
emotional roller coaster was because although I would wake up with a great mindset, like to take on the day, what adventure it's going to bring, a lot of times bad things happen. So
Oh, Lord.
By the end of the day, it was that negative,
so the
trauma.
letdown.
Yeah.
So you got
But you were excited.
But I was
I mean,
still
most kids are
excited
pretty
most of the
excited.
time and- yeah.
derailed. He got derailed there.
Yep. That's a good word.
Derailed, the letdown. The letdown comes from the high expectations, which is fine. You were energetic. My dad still calls me pulga. In Spanish, it means flea. Although at 48, finally, my energy has mellowed out, which is a good thing. Well, I mean, there's vibration, but that's what I've been tasked to do. But you see me lit up because this is my passion. It's like the architecture of your life. 20 years ago when I got a taste of it, when I read Deepak Chopra's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and I was like, you mean you can change things inside of yourself and you can apply it to life? It blew me away and I got a taste of it and I've been hooked. So you were derailed, you were energetic about the day, then challenges came up, things happened that were out of your control. You had high expectations for the day and then ultimately you were let down, lowered your energy, lowered your vibration. Yeah, and today the kids are experiencing that with the dopamine hits from social media, and they end up over here in depression because of the expectations from the dopamine hits, and that's all programming. And then we say, the why? Well, because clickbait, sales, marketing, programming. And what does all that programming do? It's either healthy,
It's disconnected.
put an L in there,
Disconnected.
or unhealthy. It's either, and look how that tied together. The programming is either healthy or it's unhealthy. It's either ego or it's love. In my eyes, putting it all up here opens our awareness. We understand a little bit more. We can see it for what it is. And then we have to breathe, release, and let go. In the words of Jeffrey Combs, one of my mentors that I love and respect. And you're not always going to get the support as a child that we should have got. Because these types of reflections, did you ever see anything like that, Judy, when you were a child?
I was just sitting here thinking about all that. I'm a lot older than all of y'all. I could be your mom, your grandmom. But when I grew up in a two-parent household. And I think the kids today that don't have that, where mom's taking on the role of both parents or dad's taking on the role of both parents, makes it so hard for kids today compared to when I grew up. You know, I mean, I was really blessed because everybody I went to school with, 99% of us had our mom and our daddy. We didn't have, you know, and if they didn't have two parents, it's usually because death took one. It's not because of divorce. Divorce was not as common as it is today, because I don't think couples try as hard to keep the marriage together. It's so easy to go find an attorney and get out of it. Now, you know, everybody's got different circumstances, and there are some that you have no control over. I mean, if the man's out cheating or whatever, is it gonna be good to stay in that kind of relationship for the sake of the kids? Probably not, because the kids then grow up with this false sense of love, you know, that mom and dad are together, but they're not. They're not together, you know? So, you know, I had, like I said, a different type of childhood. Blessed to be able to go to Catholic school, and blessed that my kids had a two-parent household that they grew up in and went to Catholic school. So, you know, you gotta take, it's really difficult.
You had deep family connection.
I did.
Would you agree that it was because you guys had less distraction?
Without a doubt. I mean, kids today, they get their own phone to play with instead of engaging in conversation at the dinner table. I mean, I see that with my own grandchildren.
What does the conversation do you think, when people put their phone down and they're eating? Is there eye contact?
Of course,
So there's eye contact,
yes.
there's cues, there's social cues. You can see if someone's lying to you. You can feel their energy, read their body language. Does that feed this?
You're connected.
Does that feed that?
Absolutely.
And I know it's just kids, but like the
Adults.
social media and stuff with adults, I mean, it's
Oh
so
my
easy now.
goodness.
Somebody sends you a message and this and that, and all of a sudden, like, you know, you wonder why people.
Yes, you walk into a restaurant and this is what you're seeing. You know, nobody looks up. They're all looking down. You know?
It's
And
pulling humanity apart from our essence,
it's become
which is
accepted.
engaging,
Accepted, you know?
which is connecting,
Right.
which is
also
what?
like the
Relationships.
national
The
TV,
quality of the human experience with the extreme expansion in the technology is pulling us away from our essence to be able to connect mind, body, and spirit. So if we can't connect with ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, how can we connect with others?
I'll say this from the perspective of healthcare. We see a lot of the alpha generation that doesn't even want to engage. They have anxiety, social anxiety, to the point that they don't want to engage because all they've ever done is played with a device and played a video game. So they're okay with putting the headset on and talking to somebody that they don't know, but they won't walk in a room and meet that person. They have no desire to do that. It creates a lot of anxiety.
And that's all right here. That's all the programming.
And it's so sad.
It's very sad.
Because as an only child, I always, when you said, what did you look forward to as a kid? I looked forward to fellowship and being around other people because I didn't have siblings or cousins that were close. So I think that that's why in my career I was so willing to go up in front of big crowds and talk, because like that's always been an exciting thing for me. Oh, they've got 5 friends I can play with.
Yeah.
This is so cool because I didn't have anybody at my house, you know?
Right.
So to me, that was something that was a positive and that I look forward to. So when other colleagues got stage fright or something, it was like, how can you speak in front of all these people? I'm like, I think it's fun. I think it's great.
Well, you needed this right here.
Absolutely.
Engagement. You wanted to engage because you didn't have it at home
Right.
to the level of, myself that grew up with 3 other siblings.
Sure. I had the
And the
mom and dad
chaos.
part, like Ms. Judy said, but I didn't have that fellowship on my level.
Sure.
For the spiritual, like with my grandmother, I guess the reason why I'm so into scripture and church now is because I was starved of that growing up.
Amen.
I was fed spiritual, so I can tap into my spirit when needed, but I was always, you know, I never knew what the church was. I always saw those, the church, and wanted to be a part of like the congregation to see what they were talking about. So I fell into a cult even growing up, because it was the only exposure I had to church
Yeah.
as a young adult.
Not exposed to it. All right, so I think we've stirred the pot. I think we laid out enough to progress forward. So as you look at this, as you reflect on yourself as a child, your perspective, the different realities that you experienced that shaped your perception of life, of yourself, of friends, of family, of your parents. Now let's pause, and for everybody with kids, remove yourself from it and insert your child's name right here. Insert your child's name right there and ask yourself, are you connecting with your child? Where are they in their spirituality? What is their mindset? Do they hate school? Are they mentally unstable? Are they energetic? Do they need more engagement? Am I being a passive dad? Is mom supportive? Am I being a loving dad? I'm a hard worker, but is my hard work taking away from my child's need to connect? Am I giving my child the opportunities to play organized sport? Does my child go outside? Do we have enough family time with the child or the children? All right. Hope this inspired you guys and got those wheels turning. Triggered some things inside of you. Made you uncomfortable. Made you happy, made you excited, made you reflect on a dog you had when you were 8 years old. You haven't thought about that dog in 30 years. But this exercise is to open ourselves up, to get it all out. Stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for joining us at the Connection Studio. You can support us by sharing with others and posting to social media. Keep doing the internal work, as it will truly make all the difference. God bless.